Hi, my name is Stanley. How many of you guys have came to a near-death experience in which you thought to yourself, is this it? Is that where the world ends? Well, I hope not, because I certainly have been through that experience at only 60 years old. It was a rough time for that to happen, and I don't know how I made it, but I did. Bit about the earthquake that took place was a was in 2010. It was a 7-degree earthquake that took place in my hometown, Port-au-Prince. Again, I was only 6 years old, and it was a typical day for me where my dad would get up in the morning, leave me with $10 or so to make the day, and my sister, which the most of you would think would take care of me, but she would go on her business, leaving me home alone as always. And I would just walk around, play all day, get myself injured a couple of times. And I didn't think too much of it because, once again, I was also a kid, minding my own business, doing whatever I want because I had no supervision. So it was one of those days, again, as usual. I was very tired for whatever reason. I came back home, trying to take a good nap, and it was a good nap. I got up. It was so good, I still felt tired, but I was a little hungry, so I just went in front of the door and just sat in the front door, waiting for my dad to come to kind of like get something to eat and tell him about my story as usual for the day. However, things took a different turn. While sitting there, I felt a little shock. I was confused, as you can imagine. I'm like, what was that? But it happened again. This time, it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I was getting worried. I turned around and I saw the bed I was just sleeping on. It was shaking very hard. And at that moment, the wall right across the bed just collapsed in the opposite direction. When I saw that, I was shocked, and I did not want to be in that front door anymore. And I went downstairs trying to make it out because that was a very scary moment, and I did not want to be in that room. And I saw a couple of people running, screaming. I didn't know where they were going to go. I didn't know where I would want to go. And so the right decision was to follow these people. And so I did so. I did so in a way that also kept me safe. I was little. These people were bigger than me. And I followed them at a distance and also keeping myself away from tall objects or buildings that could potentially fall on me. And from there, it was just running, walking, getting tired. Surprisingly, I was able to do most of these with a somewhat calm attitude for my age. Like I didn't panic enough to just stay in one place and isolate myself. And so I actually did something about it. I chased those people down. After a while of doing so, we were able to find an area in which it was completely empty. No big buildings around it. It was just big football field area, which most of us sat in just rest. I sat there, wait, time by, hours pass by, I wait. Everyone else, some of them had their family with them, but of course I was by myself, only six, just waiting, waiting. But at that moment, I started worried about others. I started worried if my dad is actually okay and if my sister was making it. But worrying about it wasn't gonna help, so I continued waiting, waiting, until very late at night, my dad finally was able to find me. He gave me a hug so tight that I could kind of still feel my bones from it. But that hug was was a good moment for me, in which reminded me that he loves me despite everything. Every trouble I've gotten myself in school, he loved me. And my sister, well, I didn't see her for a while until later on, and find out she was okay. And what I took from this is that out of all the people that died from this earthquake, my family was able to make it out alive. See that God was really on our side. But what you could learn from this is that no matter how rough a situation can be, as long as you're willing to do something about it, God will have your back and He will make you make it out successfully. Thank you for listening.